everybody. How you doing? The time is now 9:05. I'm sorry I'm 5 minutes late. I apologize about that. I am trying to get my stuff together here, and well, I'll be quite frank with you, it's not working. So anyway, hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Mickey. Welcome to the big show. This is Mickey in the Middle, the quintessential show for middle Americans, where all middle Americans are welcome. It doesn't matter where you've been, where you go, it just matters that you're here right now. We don't pay attention to the 20% of the crazies on the left, on the far left. We don't pay attention to the 20% of the crazies on the far right. We're just worried about the 60% of the people in the middle that are just trying to make it day to day. That's why we call this Mickey in the Middle. I'm a middle American. I hope you're a middle American. Anyway, everybody's welcome here. Mark Calcaterra, congratulations. You win the Mickey in the middle of the week chat Olympics. You get the gold medal. Hello, how you doing? I hope you're doing well, my friend. It has been a minute, everybody. So, just to let you know, I've been in Ohio. I've been to Washington, D.C. I've been in Oklahoma. I've been in Fayetteville. Every time I turn around, I keep getting drug away from this place and I keep getting it. So, however, a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't do a show and then I couldn't do a show and then I couldn't do. So, anyway, I'm back and hopefully I'll be a little bit more consistent. But I do appreciate everybody hanging with me. Tonight, we're going to talk about the countdown. Do you know that there's a countdown going on right now in your life? And I don't even know whether you know it or not. There's a countdown that's happening and you got to be ready for it. And this became very apparent to me a couple of weeks ago because a friend of mine on Facebook, James Year, uh, put out a video or well, all right, first of all, let's get a couple things straight. Uh, James used to be in the military. I used to be in the military. We are friends on Facebook. He's on a liberal side. He thinks that I'm on the conservative side. Although I try to be in the middle, I try to be a libertarian. So, with that being said, he put something out about the big, beautiful bill. Oh, wait a minute. Before we get to that, let's do our due diligence. Let's do this real quick. Let's talk about the Constitution of the United States that makes us all free. That is absolutely awesome. Congratulations to everybody who loves the Constitution of the United States of America. And by the way, we are not in a constitutional crisis. No matter how many people yell we're in a constitutional crisis, we are not in a constitutional crisis. That's crazy. All right. Second thing, this right here is the world population. There's 8,229,000,000 of us out there. Everybody's in debt. The United States is leading the charge being in debt with $36 trillion. We're almost at $37 trillion. So anyway, let's get back to what I was talking about. And that is, there it is. This is what I'm talking about. Now, for those of you who do not know this, in the big, beautiful bill that was put forward by Trump, Congress got a hold of it, then the Senate got a hold of it, or Congress went to Congress. The Senate had it, and then the House of Representatives had it, and they're arguing over the bill right now. It's not in law. But one of the things that they put inside of the law, and I'm going to read it and then I'll show it to you, is except as provided in paragraph 2, no state or political subdivision there are may enforce any law or regulation regulating artificial intelligence. No state or political subdivision there may enforce any law or regulation regulating artificial intelligence models, artificial intelligence systems, or automated decision systems during the 10-year period beginning on the date of the enactment of this act. The rule of construction may not be construed to prohibit the enforcement of any law or regulation that the primary purpose and effect of which is to remove legal impediments to or facilitate the deployment or operation of artificial intelligence model, artificial intelligence systems, or automated decision system. Primary purpose and effect of this is to streamline licensing, permitting, routing, zoning, procurement, and reporting procedures in a manner that facilitates the adoption of artificial intelligence models. Everybody follow that? Did everybody follow that? In the big, beautiful bill, it says that states and subsections of states cannot create any type of a provision that would regulate artificial intelligence model, artificial intelligence systems, or automated decision systems. Darla Joe, how you doing? Hey, don't be telling me the damn score. Damn it, Darla, you're supposed to, oh, you no, I'm recording the game. Don't feel bad. Go Hogs, woo pig suey. Thanks for the update. Right now, LSU, I was watching LSU just went up 2-1 in like the sixth inning or something like that. But well, woo pig. All right. So here's the thing is artificial intelligence is coming like a train. And I made a joke because he James Year basically put a thing. He said, hey, I'm concerned that the federal government is saying that states can't regulate artificial intelligence. Now, here's what the thing is. This is so big that states are going to get in the way of artificial intelligence. Could you imagine if states regulated electricity? Could you imagine if states regulated the internet? Can you imagine if states slowed down that entire process? Now, the perfect classic example of that is the Federal Communications Commission wrote a decency act a few years ago, and they tried to limit, Congress tried to limit what could happen on the internet. The FCC said, hey, you're not allowed to cuss. So they did that on TV, right? So they got the Decency Act and they had it on TV and they were like, hey, man, at 8 o'clock, prior to 8 o'clock at night, it's children's programming, so you're not allowed to cuss. You're not allowed to have nudity. You're not allowed to have anything. So Congress or the FCC tried to regulate everything. Congress then tried to write that as a law. And then the Supreme Court said, we're throwing out the entire FCC, Federal Communications Decency Act, except for Part 107, which is basically that internet providers, you can't touch the internet providers. That's why Facebook and Pornhub are on the same internet, right? So I need you to understand why Pornhub is like the fifth or sixth largest site on the internet. It's because the federal government is not regulating the internet. And they're like, hey, look here, use this at your own risk. And then they came up with some other things and they were like, hey, look here, you can say whatever you want to on the internet. That's how you get porn on the internet. And that's how you can also simultaneously also have children's programming on the internet. Now, I'm not an advocate for porn. However, I'm saying that this is how you get unregulated growth so that you can get the Googles of the world, the Yahoos of the world, how you can get the Amazons of the world, Books A Million. This is how you can have all of these sites like Wayfair and Amazon and Walmart and all of the apps that you use on your phone to go get McDonald's or to this, because it's an unregulated. It's the federal government said states cannot put any regulation on the internet. James said, hey, how are we supposed to control the internet if states can't make any rules about the internet? And I said, freedom, brother, freedom. Here's the deal. What kind of bureaucrat is going to be able to regulate the internet or AI? What constitutes AI? We've been living in an AI world for a really, really long time. For those of you who don't know it, what do you think Siri is? What do you think all the algorithms in Google are? There's not a person at Google that is going, hey, look here, when you're looking up how to feed a baby squirrel, Google is not having a person go look at an encyclopedia. They're having an automated system do a bunch of research, find out what the best answer of that is, and send it to you. They've been doing that for years and years and years. Automated games. Everything is automated. Everything is automated. So the federal government said, hey, look here. We can't be last in AI, and if states and cities and everybody else regulates AI, then all of a sudden we're going to fall behind. Because you know why? because China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Japan, Taiwan, all of those countries are not going to slow down with the AI, with the internet, and all the things that are associated with that. So what happened was, and this is what pissed me off about the conversation. I was half-heartedly joking about the hey freedom, right? I was half-hearted, but I was serious, right? And he comes piling back at me. It's like, hey, look here, man. You're like that's not cool. And I was like, okay, I'm not cool, whatever. And then later, uh, James made a movie. You need to go see the movie. I don't have the movie. I'll try to post it later. But James made a great movie about how in the world AI and robots and things like that are affecting uh, how how those things are affecting the trucking industry and how they're going to take trucking industry jobs. And the fact is, they're going to take trucking industry jobs. So he made this fantastic video about safety and about regulations and about how they're being supervised and about what the truckers down in Texas and about how the concerns of the trucking unions and how the concerns of people and everyday people are being affected by the way that they are treating the truckers and robotic driving and automated autonomous vehicles out there. I said, great video. I said, that was a great video. Thanks for sharing it and making people aware of what's happening across our country. I got a screenshot. See that? This is a great video. Thanks for sharing it and making sure that people are aware of what's happening across our country. You know what the response to that was? You know what the response to that was? This is crazy, right? Do you still think the Trump administration should ban Texas and every other state from regulating these things? They're being rushed to market and they're going to get people killed unnecessarily, or am I just whining about it? This is a response video. This is a response video. You're whining about it. I'm an expert in the field. I'm an expert in this field. I'm an expert in taking people's jobs and automating them. I've been an expert in this field for forever, particularly in the aerospace industry. My degree happens to be in workforce education and development from Southern Illinois University at Carbondale, where I studied a great number of things that have to do with how do you take an objective, how do you take a subject, and how do you make it as efficient as possible, and how do you train the workforce to deal with that? Here's what the thing is, everybody. I'm going to tell you right now, the workforce is not capable of handling AI. That's what the countdown is. The countdown is very, very bad. AI is coming like a train. AI is not what the issue is. The issue is that this has been coming since the Industrial Revolution. It's called humanity's need to invent things. Right? We need to. What did James T. Kirk say? To explore the final frontier. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go explore the final frontier. See, what happened was we were an agrarian economy, and then all of a sudden somebody was like, "Hey, look here, man. If we get people together and we can make different things, because if we more automate farming and we make farming less people intensive, then people can come and they can build things like cars and railways and houses and apartment buildings and roads, and they can build everything that you have in your house. And it's called the Industrial Revolution. And it changed the world. That's how we got out of the fields. This is how we progressed as a nation. This is how we ended up with cars in every single garage and outside of every single apartment building. This is how we have trains. This is how we have mass communication. This is how we can have Amazon. I can order something on Amazon right now, and it can be delivered by 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. It can happen. It's called automation. It doesn't have anything to do with AI because what we're doing is we are creating systems that involve less and less people. I'm not picking on the trucking industry. The trucking industry is the canary in the coal mine. Do you know why they can't control the trucks? Because we already have self-driving cars. I got a friend of mine named Liz who does not drive. She gets in her car, she goes, "Take me to the store," and it takes her to the car, takes her to the store. It does all the driving. It parks itself. It takes it out of the driveway, drives to the store, misses all the people, misses all the other cars, safely navigates a parking lot, finds a parking spot, parks in the parking lot so that she can go to the store. And then when she gets done with the store, she comes back out to the car. She gets in the car. She goes, "Take me home." And the car takes her home. It's happening right now. All of the cars that are out there that have automated cruise control. I had a great van. I had a Chevy van. I push a button and it would stay as far away from the car in front of it that I wanted. If there was no car in front of it, it would accelerate to the speed that I had predetermined that it was going to go to. It also had lane keeping. That means that I could get in the car, I could set the cruise control, I could set the lane keeping, and I can drive 100 miles on the freeway and never touch the steering wheel. It's an automated car. I had one. I didn't spend a lot of money on it, but it came with the car. Now, don't talk to me about my Ford truck because I didn't pay for the Blue Cruise in my Ford truck because I'm like, I'm not going to pay for that extra stuff. Elon Musk is coming out with a system that you can rent your car to Uber, and your Tesla will be able to go do Uber by itself. Amazon is delivering packages by drone autonomously. So the thing is about the trucking industry is that is going to happen. And there's a whole bunch of people that don't want it to happen. The reason why they don't want it to happen is because what do you do about all the people that are going to lose their jobs in the transition from where we are now to where we are going? You want to know where we're going? You want to know where we're going? Watch the movie WALL-E. WALL-E! This is a great movie. That's where we're going. We don't know how to get to the WALL-E world. You remember in WALL-E, if you ever watch the movie, it's about people in a spaceship. The people don't do anything. The robots do everything. The robots are flying the ships. The robots are making the food. The robots are doing the cleaning. They're taking care of the pool. They're rescuing people. They're doing all the medical stuff. They're turning down beds. They're getting clothes ready for people. They're picking people up and putting them in their little floaty recliner chairs. Whatever you want, you get, and the robots provide it for you. Now, my question is, how do we get from where all of us have jobs to WALL-E? Well, I don't know that. We are so invested in, I have to work for a living. That's how I make money. That's how I basically make myself worth in the world. How do I take that and how do I get out of that? And how do we get to everybody is sitting in a recliner on a spaceship doing whatever you want to do, being an artist, making music, playing pickleball? So that's what the problem is. The problem is the transition. I'm telling you right now, the countdown is the transition. How sophisticated are the systems that we're currently developing? Well, I'm going to tell you. I started a school in the state of Arkansas called the Falcon Academy. We taught project management and we specialized in getting people green belt and black belt certifications inside the Lean Six Sigma processes. That's the best way to describe it. Using my degree and using what I know from them, the first question that I had was, how in the world do we tell everybody in the United States of America that they're going to be out of a job? As part of this, we went out to L'Oreal, which has a factory here in Little Rock. I did this twice, once with the Falcon Academy and then once with the United States Air Force. And they were using their systems to automate. How do you make 1,000,000 lipsticks a day? Well, ask L'Oreal. But people are not making 1,000,000 lipsticks a day. You know what the people were doing? The people were monitoring the robots that were making the lipstick, and then they were tracking how they worked. And that was the Six Sigma, which is what is the degree of variance inside of the process? And then how many malfunctions do you have inside of the entire process? The people were watching the machines do the things that the machines do, but that's how you end up making 1,000,000 lipsticks a day. It's the same thing for cars. It's the same thing for toasters. It's the same thing for bottles. People are not blowing these bottles plastic wise. People are not making these little phones right here. The entire world is. So I've got a question for you. How in the world is this going to affect you? Because the countdown clock has started. The truckers are just the canary in the coal mine, but this will affect everything. Your job is to start thinking about this right now because the federal government understands what's going on. The federal government, there was a presidential candidate named Yang, I think his name was Yang, who said that universal basic income, which is how do we figure out how to get everybody a roof over their head, food in their belly, clothes on their body every single day? How do we do that? Because that's one of the steps we're going to have to take in order to get to the WALL-E movie. How in the world do we talk to our constituents, our politicians, and how do we get them convinced that all of us are going to be losing our jobs in the next 50 to 100 years? All of us. You, me, my daughter who just became a doctor, all of the people in the trucking industry. If you make anything right now, let's say that you're a welder. Everybody's like, hey, get in the trades, become a welder. Let me tell you about welding. Let's say that a welder can do 10 perfect welds every single day. And it's extraordinary craftsmanship. And you have to pay that welder $150,000 a year. Or you spend $300,000 one time and you buy a robot that would make not only 10 welds a day, it will make 30 welds a day because the welder can only work for 8 hours, but there's 24 hours in a day. See, the little robot welder doesn't get tired. It doesn't complain. It doesn't need breaks. It doesn't get sick. It doesn't have kids. It doesn't have anything. The welder is going to be out of a job, not because we want the welder to be out of a job, but because a robot doesn't need a retirement system. It doesn't need a 401k. It doesn't need vacation. This is the reality. So if you're a receptionist, you know how everything is now a automated phone system? And well, that's because they got rid of all the operators. Now, if you get to talk to a person, you were doing something special. But pretty soon you're not going to be able to talk to a person. It means all those jobs are going to be gone. All the welder jobs are going to be gone. When they build houses, they're going to build modular houses. Look what's going on in the war between Israel and Iran. They're just shooting automated systems at each other. They go find something to kill. Go find a rocket to protect us. One of the things I did in the United States military is I figured out how to eliminate loadmasters from being in the back of a cargo compartment. That system is currently on the KC-390. When they did the contract capture for that, they were like, hey, can you design the cargo compartment of an airplane for us? That's going to go in a KC-390. We're going to do a contract capture on that. I said, sure. So I designed a system that automatically did everything in it. The only thing it didn't do, because it was going to be too cost prohibitive, was figure out how to weigh the cargo that went in there. But I'm telling you right now, I could automate that entire process too. And we would not need any loadmasters. We can get rid of me. And you go, well, what about airdrop? Right. So I figured out a way to do airdrops without human beings. I automated the entire process. I eliminated my own job. I also worked for General Atomics designing a system called the Gremlin system. We didn't win the contract in order to design further, but we designed a process that was automated to launch a series of drones into the air from a C 130. They would automatically fly a mission that they were pre programmed to run. They would fly back to the airplane and then they would load themselves back up on the airplane automatically. That is real live technology that doesn't have anything to do with what we call AI, but it does have to do with robotics and it does have to do with automation. And it does have to do with advanced calculators and it has to do with advanced computers. But it doesn't have anything to do with AI. The only reason I'm telling you this is because I've been trying to put people out of work for a really long time. When somebody says, hey, look here, man, you're going to get rid of all the truckers. I don't want to get rid of the truckers. It's just going to be what's going to happen here in the next, I say, 20 years. And then in the next 50 to 100 years, we got to figure this out. So you got to get your family ready for that. So what else did I have written down here? Yeah. Hey, everybody. I hope you are ready for the upcoming AI, computer, robotics thing. I just want you to be ready for it. I want you to be aware. I don't want you to be scared of it, but I want you to figure out how it's going to affect you and how you can best talk to your politicians in order to get them to understand and realize that we got to work on a system that is going to be able to transition us from we all work to nobody works. We want everybody to be able to live their best life ever without having to go and work their fingers to the bone for 60 years in order to die 2 years later. We need to be able to be born and have purpose in our life. We need to be able to be educated. We need to be able to deal with the world around us. But if none of us have to work, if we can all have total recreation and be able to have housing and food and shelter and clothing and recreation and have the robots take care of us like on Wally, that would be great. So, all right. Hey, let's go to the comments. Darla Joe says, I didn't know. Hi, Mick. Hey, Sherry Clark. How you doing? Where no man has gone before. Darla, thank you very much for that. I greatly appreciate that. So, listen. Thank you very much for being here. I'm sorry that I've missed so many weeks, but I just want to let you know that I greatly appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in to Mickey in the middle of the week, which is every single Wednesday, 9 p.m., except for the Wednesdays that I'm with my daughter or out doing something else. And I got news for you. I am going to be later in this year. I am going to go to Massachusetts in order to visit my cousins and the family that lives up in Plymouth, Massachusetts. I'm going to go up there, watch fireworks, and play some golf. Maybe go to Maine, catch a lobster. I'm also going to go to Yellowstone with my sister because I'm retired now and I can go out there and I can do that. So, Kelly, if you're watching, we'll see you in Yellowstone. Also, the Senior Olympics. I made the Senior Olympics. So I'm going to go play pickleball with Kim Kamikaze. She's going to be my partner. We're going to the Senior Olympics in Des Moines, Iowa at the end of July. And there you go. So, thank you very much for watching. Remember, like, share, tell everybody about the show. Greatly appreciate everybody being here. Remember, Mickey in the middle of the week, 9 p.m. Central, everywhere that I am, the quintessential show for Middle Americans, where all Middle Americans are welcome, doesn't matter where you've been. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You guys all be good. Don Ledger, hey, there you go. You guys be good. You guys take care. Love you. Have a great, great night. See ya.